This game is set in a reimagined version of the late 19th century rural Europe, and it instantly immerses you into a world inspired by Slavic folklore. You, the player, play as REKA, a young witch in training under the guidance of the legendary Baba Yaga, who is one of the most iconic figures in Slavic mythology. And right from the start, you're drawn into a cozy yet mysterious environment. Picture this. Your home is a magical chicken-like cottage, which you can customize and expand as you progress through the game. And yes, you heard that right, the house walks on chicken legs, which is a nod to Baba Yaga's mythical dwelling. And the game setting is one of REKA's standout features, as it draws heavily on rustic European vibes, with swamps, dense forests, and open fields making up the bulk of the environment. The world feels like a tranquil autumn day, where the wind softly rustles through the trees, and a mist rolls over the hills. But it's not just about the pretty scenery, as this world is filled with mythological creatures, pagan gods, and enchanted spirits. The atmosphere is magical without being overwhelming, allowing you to experience a form of witchcraft that's more about creativity, exploration, and helping others rather than engaging in epic battles or grand quests. At its core, REKA is a resource gathering and base building simulator, but unlike other games in the genre that tend to focus on combat and fast-paced survival, REKA instead offers a relaxed, slow-stick approach. You gather ingredients from the environments, everything from herbs to magical mushrooms to magical artifacts, and then use them to craft potions, medicine, and other witchy supplies. And you also help the local villagers with their tasks, completing simple fetch quests and using your magic to aid those around you. This game encourages creativity in the way you expand and decorate your mobile chicken-like cottage. Crafting new furniture, creating your home, and customizing its magical items you find along the journey is a big part of the experience. And the game's base building mechanic shines and offers a wide array of customization options, from crafting stations to cozy decorations to making your cottage feel like it's uniquely yours. And while some of the building mechanics can be a bit finicky, such as placing items exactly where you want them to be, which can be a challenge, the game's potential for creativity, rustic architecture is vast. However, it is important to note that this game is still in early access, and this is reflected in the limited content currently available. The gameplay loop of gathering materials, helping villagers, and expanding your home offers a solid foundation, but after around 90 minutes you might find yourself running out of things to do. And the fetch quests, while charming, can quickly become repetitive, and there isn't much variety in the missions yet. At the moment you can complete beginner quests, meet Baba Yaga, and get a taste of the sandbox world, but additional content will likely be needed to keep players engaged in the long run. If there's a place this game excels, it's in its visual and audio design, as this game uses a soft, low poly art style that perfectly matches its cottagecore aesthetic, and the landscapes are rich in detail with dynamic lighting that adds a layer of magic to every scene. And whether you're wandering through a misty swamp or gathering herbs in a sun-dampened forest, the game makes you feel like you've stepped into a fairy tale. And its audio design complements this peaceful atmosphere, with soothing soundscape that immerse you into the world. Gentle strings, wind instruments, and the ambient sounds of nature all contribute to a relaxing environment. But I should also mention that the audio could also benefit from more variety. The current soundtrack is currently pleasant, but adding more dynamic music for key moments of exploration or crafting would enhance the overall experience. And as many of you know, games like God of War and Assassin's Creed have popularized Norse and Greek mythology, REKA instead takes a different approach by delving into the lesser-known Slavic pantheon. Baba Yaga is a central figure in Slavic myth and plays a major role as your mentor, and creatures like Leslie, nature spirits, and gods are all treated authentically and respected. Unlike other games where the figures are often portrayed as villains or dark forces, REKA embraces them as protectors of nature, which adds a layer of depth into the game's world, and it's definitely a refreshing change from the mainstream fantasy. And this game does a commendable job of making the folklore accessible and engaging, but while REKA is charming and full potential, it's clear that the game is still in the early stages of development. And one of the most noticeable areas that needs improvement is the animation. Moments like running, casting spells, and building feel unfinished and lack the fluidity that would make the game feel more polished. In a game that doesn't really rely on combat or high-stakes action, the small details like smooth animations and satisfying interactions become more important. Improving these animations will go a long way towards enhancing the overall experience. And the game's quest system also needs some refining, as many of the current quests boil down to simple fetch tasks, which quickly become repetitive. Adding more variety such as puzzles, crafting challenges, or narrative-driven missions will also keep the gameplay loop fresh. But I know the game's still in early access, so it's hard for me to really give you a solid opinion. So instead of giving it a score, I will let you know if this is worth playing in its current early access state. If you're a gamer who enjoys slow-paced, relaxing games with a focus on creativity and exploration, then REKA might just be the magical escape you're looking for. With its charming art style, unique settings, and low-stakes gameplay, it's a perfect game for unwinding after a long day. However, if you're someone who needs more action and narrative depth, then REKA may feel a bit underwhelming in its current form. The limited content and repetitive quests means that the game might not hold your attention for very long. If you're someone who enjoys Animal Crossing Stardew Valley, and you're intrigued by the idea of a witchy folklore-inspired world, then REKA is a game I can recommend to you. But if you're not a fan of slower-paced games, then I can definitely not recommend this game to you at the moment. As always, thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great day.